Sometime in the 2020s, three geeks from social media formed an alliance to bring you geek news from across the Nostalgiaverse. They are Jacob's Toys, SuperSorrell, Ryan Speaks Geek, bringing you a weekly live show, toy news, TV and movie reviews, special guests, opinions, tangents, and bad impressions, reveals, releases, thoughts, maybe dreams. Now prepare for the Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review. Sorry to get people's hopes up there. We played the old intro with Ryan.
We did.
All right, it's just we can't just let go. But no, so we are gonna have to delete that one. Welcome back, episode 115 with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course, wonderful one and only SuperSorrell in his not so new room. So I'm still getting thrown by seeing you in a different
environment.
Environment, yeah. But yeah, if you're new to the show, thanks very much for tuning in. Jump on the comments. It doesn't matter where you're watching, as long as you're watching. If you're watching us on replay, then thanks very much for catching up with us. Try to tune into a live show, maybe. That sounded really passive aggressive, but I didn't mean to.
Everybody watching at home, come watch us live.
Yeah. Social links are down there somewhere, so go give us a follow and check us out over on various different social media platforms.
Andy, Stuggy, let us just put this out there. Ryan is dead to us now. He only appears on the horror podcast. He's gone. Get over it.
He's gone. No, but
I half expect him to be in the chat, to be honest.
I'm surprised he isn't. I think he's going to give it a couple of weeks and then he'll jump in the chat. Evening, let's just jump into the comments quickly. And while I see some names throwing up, Shelley, good to see you. Andy H, Stug138, Joby1, good to see you. Who else we got? I'll get to you. Nice to see people talking as well before we even went live, which is quite nice. So, yeah, we're good. How's your week been, Sorrel?
Busy, and getting stupid amounts of stuff sent. It's ridiculous. What's going on?
I know, right? I know. It's like Christmas in September.
I'm saying this, but I've not shown mine off yet. So people got no idea what I'm on about right now.
No, you got a good thing, didn't you? You got a good thing.
One thing that did arrive this week that I just have to quickly share again. Look what's arrived. She's finally here.
It's weird seeing her like
as a brat
doll. If that makes sense. Like it's weird seeing her as like a pretty doll as opposed to like the scary
they've definitely like glamorized this one more than the others. It's very weird. And she comes with the giant warning label. Ugh.
Oh, and she's with the chair and all that. Like,
oh yeah,
it's weird seeing her as a doll though. Like,
yeah. The nicest thing though is the fact that on what they've done is yes, it's a box, but it's a slip cover.
Oh, nice.
So you can literally put her in and out of the box without causing any issues.
That's cool. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, very nice. Touch.
Yeah. Cool. Let's just have a look. Andrew Raw in the chat as well. 80s After School Toys, good to see ya. Viz, how you doing, buddy? Viz has just said, I just got the retro carded animated series Spider-Man from Amazon yesterday. Nice. I got my 2-pack recently with Peter Parker and Smythe. Smythe is how I always said it is Smythe, isn't it?
I call it Smythe.
Yeah, I always call it Smythe. But then when the Smith's toy store opened, I called it Smythe's. When it first came, I was like, oh, it's like Smythe from what's it? From Spider-Man. I went there today, actually. I popped into Smith's. I texted you, didn't I? Yeah. Right. Can everyone in the comments stop calling me Daddy Jacob? That's really weird. It's made me feel a bit uneasy. I'm not going to lie. I went down to Smith's today and yeah, it's funny, really. There wasn't anything massively new, but it's weird to kind of see the Hasbro Black Series Legends kind of really not taking up much space, because at one point they were taking up a lot of retail space in the Smiths kind of shelving, and now you've kind of got to look for them a little bit. But there were some cool things down there. Joby one, Papa J. Any better? Papa J is quite cool. It makes me feel like an old Midwestern guy. I feel like I should be sat on a porch with a banjo. But either way, I'm going to show him off now because I'm well chuffed with this guy. Well chuffed. I've not done the full review video yet, but this is the Hot Toys Mysterio Illusion Iron Man, and he is incredible. He's very quickly become my favorite figure in my collection. Massive shout out to zombie.co.uk for sending him over. The full review is on its way, but he's a bit of you, Sorrel. I'm not going to lie. Like,
he's awesome. He's a great looking thing.
Look at the skull in that one. Like, it's really cool. But what I noticed while I was doing the review is that like his actual his rib cage is taken out there.
Oh wow, yeah.
He's like a Terminator underneath. Like the only bone is in the face. The rest is all like metal. But yeah, cool. He all lights up and he's just incredible. He really is. He's very quickly become my favorite figure in my collection. I'm really annoyed as well because I had the Hot Toys Spider-Man, and I got rid of it. Yeah. Oh, go on. While we're shouting zombie out, let's have a look.
Thank you, zombie. That is massive. Thank you, zombie. You are my new friend.
That is incredible. It's a statue though, right? It's
a giant 3 and I think it's 3.75 foot. It's massive.
Wow.
It's like 3 feet tall, nearly 4 feet tall. It's massive. It's a massive statue. The base is 18 inches long and about 20 inches deep. I don't know where I'm going to put it when I'm done. But
it's just got to go on top of something massive.
It's going to go in the horror crypt. It's got to go on display in the horror crypt from when I go in the studio. So it is massive. And I can't wait to unbox it.
No, that is very cool. Yeah. Right, everyone's just singing about Daddy J now. That's really putting me off. It's cool. Yeah, see, the box for mine was quite big. I'm not gonna lie, like it was a big box, but yeah, I got it out straight away, and it comes with a whole base as well, like that the base all lights up. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool, right? And there's 2 modes on it, so you can have it like as solid, or you can have it like flickering, so that it kind of flickers in a minute. There you go, a little flicker. But yeah.
What does it say on the gravestone? Did you say Iron Man or Tony Stark or something?
And Anthony Edward Stark.
It's a shame you can't cover that somehow and then put the black Spider-Man arm coming out of the grave?
Oh yeah, that would
from
be
that
cool,
famous comic cover, because that would be perfect for it.
That would be really cool. But yeah, no, it's just a very cool figure. Just a very cool figure. Yeah. Right, let's jump in and talk about television, because obviously the big thing this week, television-wise, was, of course, Ahsoka. So let's just talk about what it is that we've been watching.
Yeah, I was going to say, while we're talking TV as well, before we jump into Ahsoka, did you see the news on Agatha, the new name of the new series?
I didn't see the name change. I saw the date change.
So yeah, we're now getting it for Halloween 2024. It's officially confirmed by Disney. And it's now going by the name of Agatha, the Darkhold Diaries.
Oh, okay.
It was formerly the Coven of Chaos. They've changed the name. And it's coming to Disney Plus for the Road to Halloween of 2024. So it'll be out over the Halloween period. And we're going to see... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, originally it was penned for winter 23, wasn't it? So they're putting it back almost a whole year.
They are. It makes sense to play it over Halloween. She's a witch, and I'm guessing they're going to go back in time and look at her past and stuff. So I mean... Yeah, if they're gonna go to Salem and do Salem witch trials, because that's where she's from in the comic books. If they're gonna go down that route and like the start of the Darkhold, that's all very Halloweeny horror. So it would make sense to throw that in as a Halloween special maybe for next year.
Yeah, definitely. The Darkhold Diaries sounds a little bit reality show-esque though. I'm not gonna lie.
It does. I think that's part of it, isn't it? Because obviously in where we left her, she was cursed to stay as Dottie, wasn't she? She was cursed to stay as the housewife and the in one division's little town. So I'm wondering whether it's going to continue from that point and it's going to be a bit Wisteria Lane kind of. She's trying to escape.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I think so. I'm just looking up at the moment what the what the actual. Here we go. I've got the actual schedule here. So, yeah, Darkhold Diaries was going to be Winter 23. Now for Halloween, October 24. Echo, the Hawkeye spin-off, has been put back to January of 24 instead of November, which I'm surprised about because obviously she was included in the minifigs, wasn't she? The Lego minifigs. So they obviously went into production and were released before.
I suppose she was based on Daredevil, though. Well, not Daredevil, Hawkeye. She has been already in it, technically.
Yeah, very fair enough. Viz has said about What If Season 2, rumored to be released over Christmas time. Yep, I've got that one as well. So Season 2 of What If will debut over the holiday period. I think the biggest one that's a bit of a kick in the teeth is animated X-Men 97. Have you heard about that one?
No.
It has been pushed back to sometime in 2024 instead of coming out in the fall of 23. Yeah. So where that was due to come out pretty much soon.
It's got to be down to writer strike, surely.
Yeah, massively.
It's still ongoing, isn't it?
That is exactly what it's down to. There we go. Like Andy H has said exactly the same. Yeah, it's all down to the writer strike. So it's understandable, and I kind of expected it to come. So yeah, hey ho, it is what it is, and we will get those shows when we get them. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but let's talk about what is on telly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ahsoka. I'm taking it you caught the
episode 3. Yeah.
Coming in. What were your thoughts?
Oh, you mean? Hang on, I've got to do this properly because Ryan's not here anymore to do the voices. I've got to do the voices now. You mean Ahsoka in space?
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a good episode, but the bit that made me absolutely just go, "Oh my god, no!" was when she went outside with the lightsabers and took down a starship.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
She did a little flip in space. Whee!
Yeah, like I'm no scientist, but if she flipped, she would have just carried on.
Yeah, she was going, bye, see you later.
It was. I don't know how.
I know she has the Force and she can do weird things and she's a Jedi, but yeah, even I was like, that's too far now. That's a bit silly. I think it's all going back to Clone Wars, isn't it? In Clone Wars, she wore the same little outfit, and yeah, I think it was just paying homage to what they did in Clone Wars when the Jedi would get out and battle in space.
Yeah. As an episode though, it was quite cool, and I can never remember the name of them, but what are the big space whales called?
Oh yeah,
I can never remember the name of them.
I don't think narwhals. I don't think they're called that.
No, they're not narwhals. They're like real things. Like they're like real creatures. Oh, Ryan's in the chat. Look, he's there.
There he is.
He's like, I was busy wrestling cocaine from a bear. Did someone flash the geek signal? I knew Ryan would be able to stay away for more than 2 weeks. Like, there he is.
He'll be asking for a link in a minute. Let me in.
I must admit, when she came out with the spacesuit on, I was kind of like, we're gonna get a figure of that. Like that's just because all of the Ahsoka figures have pretty much been the same, like, haven't they? So far, they're not a huge difference. But now that we've seen her in another costume, it's an opportunity to give us another figure.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But do you know what was the main part of this episode for me?
Go on.
Was seeing Jack and Syndulla, or Jason Syndulla as they're calling him. Jason Syndulla, the son of Kanan.
Oh.
And obviously him being like, because obviously that is the son of Kanan and Hera. And when they said that he is going to be a Jedi, he's going to be trained. I'm so excited to see now. See where that goes. It'll be cool if Ezra comes back and Ezra gets to train the son of Kanan as like a coming full circle kind of thing. That would be nice.
That would be
Kanan trained him and he teaches Jake and the teachings of his father.
That would be quite cool. There's part of me that still thinks he's going to turn up though.
Who? Kanan?
Yeah.
I kind of had this discussion the other day with Ryan. I think it was like I would love to see them do the mural at the end and like have all the characters stood where they are on the mural, and then the ghost of Kanan just sort of beams in.
That's what I mean. Is I feel like they've already got Zeb. They've done the work for him, haven't they? Because he showed up in what's it. So they could quite easily kind of shoehorn him into it at the end just for like a cameo, and I think he's gonna cameo. Like that, it would make it doesn't make sense for him for us to have seen him in live action and then not cameo in essentially Rebels season 5. Like that's what it is, isn't it? Ahsoka Rebels season 5.
I think when they finally, because at the minute they're still doing reconnaissance, finding out where Ezra's gone. I think when they finally find where he is, when they've got the path to get to him, I reckon it'll be like a call to arms moment, and like you'll see people from the past, from Ezra's past, show up, and this is where I'm hoping not only do we get Zeb, but we also get to see one very famous space pirate that Ezra has come across with, and that we all want to see in live action.
Oh, that would be very cool.
Because it would be cool to see him return his debts to Ezra to go save him at the end. You know what I mean? And have him turn up. Because everyone would love to see that. You know, everyone would love to see him turn up.
That would be very cool. That would be very, very cool. We haven't seen him in live action, have we?
He's only ever appeared. It's not even really canon, is it? But it's the Disney parks. He has appeared in live action.
That's where I'm thinking of it. That's where I'm thinking.
They have used him. They used him as like the almost mayor of Galaxy's Edge for a while. He was even all the spokes thing because he was Onaka Transportation Systems.
But that's where I've seen pictures of him in live actions. In my head, I'm like, we've had him in live action, but we actually haven't. But
put it this way, if Disney can pull that off and make it look good on a human being, friggin' LucasArts can do it.
Yeah, massively.
So yeah, we need Hondo to show up. Hondo 100% needs to show up to save Ezra. Imagine if it was all of the Rebels cast, right? So you've got Sabine, you've got Ezra, so you've got Sabine, you've got Hera, we've got Zeb in there. Obviously, Kanan's passed away now, so he's not going to be there. But we've got Ahsoka as the Jedi technically, and then just Hondo just rocking up like, "You're going to get Ezra? I come save my boy." You know what I mean? That would just be the coolest thing ever. Just have him rock up.
That would be wicked. That really would be cool.
Because like they could, like I can imagine like Hera and putting out a thing over the tannoy, like, you know, Ezra Bridger was once a rebel. He saved all of you. Now we have to save him. And that's when Hondo hears it and is like, "I'm coming, my boy."
That would actually be really cool. If that happens now, you heard it here first.
Mate, we can write it better than Disney. That's all I'm saying. I do this when I watch professional wrestling. I write the shows better than they do.
I must admit, I was a bit worried that it was going to be a...
Sorry, I'm Welsh. No. I can't do the accent. Sorry. I'm trying not to do the Jamaican accent because that's slightly racist.
We'll get cancelled before we started. There's part of me that kind of was worried that the show was going to just turn into this really long, drawn-out hunt for Ezra. But it doesn't feel like that. There's the whole Sabine story going on. There are kind of other... There's other depths to things as well. But I don't know. I hope that they don't... I hope there is more to it than they just find out where he is and they go and pick him up. Like, there has to be another level.
I think this is going to lead into the big movie that they've been talking about, where they all cross over. And like, again, I would love the show to end with the whole Rebels cast reunited, and then you just hear that all you need is them 3 notes now, don't you? And just we need to go stop someone. I need your help.
Do you reckon he's going to show up in this?
Oh, you were telling me they're not going to take that moment to make Rebels crossover with Mando? Oh, come on. He's going to have an episode. He's going to have an episode just for himself at some point in this because he hasn't everything else. Every other program so far, there has been a Mando episode. They're going to definitely have a crossover with Mando, just showing you what he's been up to since, and then have it weave into the story because he's met Ahsoka. He knows who Ahsoka is. Grogu's going to be trained by him and stuff. So
yeah,
technically, she could catch up with him or call for his help.
There is a tie-in with obviously Ahsoka and Grogu and stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I would love to see it as a little cameo though. Like I say at the end, just that's all you need, isn't it? Imagine you got the Rebels reunited, everyone's excited. We've got all these live action cool characters, and then you just hear those three. Each kept Boba and Mando with Grogu just stood in the doorway, all silhouetted, like, we need your help.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool. I'm really enjoying it, though. I am really enjoying it, and I'm kind of glad that it's not all been released as one. I'm kind of glad that they're drip feeding it through.
Sorry, Andy. Ahsoka, the space Uber for Ezra.
Yeah, pretty much. I just hope that there's a deeper story to where he's been and what he's been doing. It's just that I hope that there's something more to it. In all TV shows, movies, and stuff, when a main character disappears, something happens. They go on a journey. There's some kind of transition. There's some kind of development. It's, you know, it would be a wasted kind of, I don't know. He can't just. They can't just go and pick him up. There needs to be something. I'm still holding on.
He's just sat there waiting, like, what took you guys so long?
It's just like literally he's grown a massive beard. Because how old would he be now, though? That's the thing.
It's been, was it about 10 years, 12 years since the start of the franchise? Because it's only episodes 4 through 6. So he's only gone as far as what Luke Skywalker has, technically.
Right, okay.
Him and Luke are about the same age, if you think about it. I mean, Ezra will be slightly older.
Right. Okay. No, fair enough.
Because if you think that Rebels is taking place, I think if I remember rightly, Rebels takes place just as like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is starting. So Luke is a boy. Ezra was about 17.
Okay, so there's not.
So then he's going to be in his late. He's going to be late 20s.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair enough. Shelley said that IMDb shows the Ezra actor for 2 episodes, which
don't look that stuff up.
That makes sense. But then does that count? Does the first episode count? Because we technically saw him on that one.
Yeah.
Even though it was the hologram, we still saw him. Like, I mean, I think that was him. I mean, none of us can be 100% sure because he's not animated anymore. But yeah, obviously it's Ezra.
Or we could stick with the theory of Ezra's already dead.
Oh, that'd be so good. That'd be such a twist.
That would be, and make it that it was Thrawn that killed him, just to make him extra friggin' evil and badass. He was a boy. I snapped his neck. You know what I mean? I just have him as an absolute evil git. He killed Ezra in cold blood.
Yeah.
You throw me out to space, I throw you to the wolves. See you later, boy.
And, you know, Dave Filoni likes wolves, so...
yeah, I'm laughing, but there are literal space wolves in this program, for the love of God.
Exactly. Andy H is saying cough, Marek, cough. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I don't think that it's... I don't think he is. I think it's too obvious. Yeah. Like, it's too obvious. Yeah, I don't. I mean, a lot of people are saying it, but it almost seems too obvious. That I think that if that is who he is, the payoff's just not going to be there. But then also, how would he have got back, but Thrawn was still where he is? Like, why would he be evil? Like, if he had got back, why would he be evil? And if he was able to come back, why would Thrawn not be back? Yeah. And if Thrawn is back, we would have known about it. Like, he wouldn't be hiding. He's not been waiting. Like,
one thing that I did notice on the trailer when we see Thrawn, the only thing we've seen of Thrawn is him walking into that one room that was golden, like golden stuff. That is clearly that array thing that she's in, that Morgana's in. That was like all golden red inside, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the bridge of that ship. So at some point that relay gets to wherever it's going and they pick his ass up. So I don't think they've not got him yet. You know what I mean? He's not around yet and he can't get back. So they've got to go get him. Same with Ezra. If Ezra's going to be in it, if he's not dead, then, you know, he's somewhere out there with Thrawn. They've got to go pick him up. So it's not that they've already made it back, is what I'm trying to say. He can't be married because otherwise that would mean that why are they hunting for Thrawn if he's already back?
Yeah, I just don't think
Thrawn didn't.
I just don't think it's clever enough writing for Dave Filoni and what he's trying to do. I think it's too obvious. Like, it's just too.
He's had over he's had what? He's had nearly 10 years to think about this. When Rebels ended, he's now had 10 years to think about where he would like those characters to now go.
And the other thing as well is that if like the Inquisitors outside of the animated show, they've not been overly well received in the live action, have they? So to put Ezra as an Inquisitor, just kind of the Inquisitor thing kind of feels a little bit dead in the water to me. Like it could have been something really big, but it wasn't really well received, so they've not really pushed it. So to have Ezra as just a random Inquisitor just doesn't make sense. Like if he was leading them up or something like that, maybe. But I still hope that it's Starkiller. To be honest with you, that would just be the best payoff ever.
That would be the best. Yeah, a lot of people keep doing that whole thing of it doesn't fit the canon, doesn't fit the timeline. It's like they'll basically just revamp him, a bit like what they did with Thrawn. Thrawn didn't fit the timeline, but they made him fit, and they just kind of gave him a new storyline. They could easily do the same thing with Galen Merrick. They could just weave him into the story somehow. He doesn't have to be a clone or anything like he was in the game. Just have him as a frigging Inquisitor. Just have the character there is just enough for fans to pop, isn't it?
Yeah. And just to have, like we said last week, to have kind of Darth Vader's apprentice versus Anakin's apprentice would just be a very cool duel. Yes. It would be one for the books. I really do think. Yeah, it would be just that step above a Jedi fighting a spaceship.
Yeah, because Ahsoka, if you think about it from a writing point of view, and like a storyline progression, Ahsoka is training Sabine. Ahsoka is very much a stand back and let it happen kind of teacher. She stands there with her hands in a cloak and don't really do much, does she? She's quite well thought, and so I imagine that in that situation, you can even see it in your head. She's just stood there, and the Inquisitor's like, he reveals who he is, and like, I'm going to kill Ahsoka, and that's what Padawan. And this is the moment you've been training for. Go do it, kind of thing. That's the moment you want. And like you say, it's the two Padawans of who's the better teacher.
Yeah,
it would be very cool. But it's gonna either way. Fans are gonna kick off. Let's be honest, it's Star Wars fans. They're gonna hate whatever happens.
Oh yeah, you can't please everyone. Can't please everyone. It'll be what it'll be. Yeah, I'm enjoying it though. I'm excited for the next episode.
Let's just hope that Jaqen doesn't end up at Luke's school, because if he ends up at Luke's school, we all know what happens to Jaqen.
Oh man, that would be really bad, wouldn't it?
Hera's lost her husband, her friends, and now a son.
That would be really harsh.
That's what I mean. If it's case of, oh, well, I know. If you hear Ahsoka say, "I know of a lovely teacher, the guy named Luke in the forest." No,
don't go there.
1,000 Star Wars fans call out at once. No,
that would be quite funny. You've been watching anything else? Anything else on the radar this week?
I'm looking around my room for inspiration. No, not at all. I've been reading comics more than anything, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah, fair play. I haven't watched much else. I'm still watching From, for the From, from the From fans. There's a couple of From fans in the audience. I've been watching From. But yeah, apart from that, I haven't been cinema. Haven't really caught up on much telly at all. Let's have a look. I'm just seeing what the comments say before we leave Ahsoka. But yeah, no, I'm excited. And I can't call it. I can't call where it's going yet. So that's all good.
And the thing I didn't like about the scene where Ahsoka trained Sabine was the table coming up out of the ground and nobody wiped it first.
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
Space germ.
Oh, there's all that thing I didn't like about the scene. That is a very good point. I'm glad, Andy, that there is someone out there watching shows with that eye, because I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that is gross. That is disgusting. Yeah. Where should we go? Should we talk toys?
Yeah, I've got. Did you as well? Just to talk about a little bit of some before toy news, a little bit of newsy news. Well, a little bit, because we've been talking about changes to the show a little bit and doing some specials. Yeah, I think tonight is a good time to announce when we might plan the first two, because two big events are right around the corner right now, and I think that's why we're having a lull in toy news and we're having a lull in movie news, trailers. Everything's kind of died again, and it's because we've got the New York Toy Fair on September the 30th. So it's literally a few weeks away now.
Yep.
That's from Saturday until the Tuesday. It's in New York. It's the biggest toy fair on the planet in New York. This is where we will get big announcements from Hasbro and big announcements from Star Wars and everything.
Yep.
And then after that, it's only a few weeks. It's literally like, what? How many weeks? It's like 2 weeks. And then we get New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con returns October 12th through the 15th. So I definitely think we'll be planning 2 special episodes dedicated to those events and looking over the schedules and seeing what happened and recapping it, because there's going to be some massive announcements this year on those, I reckon.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, yeah, there are 2 specials that we are definitely planning to throw in. So,
because I think Ahsoka wouldn't Ahsoka be finished by the end of October or near that point? So Comic Con could give us some of the spoiler figs, is what I'm thinking.
That's true. That is true. A Starkiller figure or a Ezra Inquisitor figure, or that's it. So yeah, so in the kind of vein of the specials, the idea of what we're going to do with those is on a weekend where there's something, or if it's midweek or whenever it is, we will jump on and we will just do a live show there and then. There'll be no kind of planning on it. We will just literally the show will appear and we will just jump on and just talk solely about that particular thing that has warranted the special. We've done a couple in the past, haven't we? With like things.
Yeah,
like
we kind of shied away from them. It's like when we did midnight launches for Spider-Man, and I think Avengers, did we do one for that? I think Infinity War Part 2.
I think we might have. Yeah.
That was when we were very just starting out at that point, I think. But yeah, we would have. I think me and you jumped on and did a live, and then we did a live with Ryan for Spider-Man. But we kind of did these back in the day for jumping on and just doing these quick lives for half an hour and having an answer about something very topical. We've stopped doing that. So I think it's going to be cool to bring those back. Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, so for clarification, it won't be the length of a normal show. It won't kind of interfere with the actual shows. It will just be a special based on what it is that's happening. And New York Toy Fair and New York Comic Con, and.
But put it this way: the moment we find out who's under that stupid helmet in Ahsoka, just because of you guys in the chat, we will definitely be having to do something on that night. The moment we find out who's under that goddamn helmet,
unless it's just an absolute nobody,
unless it's just an absolute random,
just some random character that we've not even seen yet.
It's just Dave Filoni.
Yeah, Trapper Wolf.
A cowboy hat just slowly comes out from under the helmet.
So while we're on the subject of Ahsoka and we're on the subject of toy news, people have started talking about the Ghost, the HasLab. There's 3 days left on it. 3 days left on the Ghost. So we are currently sitting at 13,046 backers.
Damn.
And there is 3 days and 7 hours left to back it. So the original target was 8,000, and they've surpassed that, massively surpassed that. They've obviously unlocked the first unlocked tier, which is the Ezra figure. So they've got that in the bag. That was unlocked at 11,000, I think it was. Let's have a little look. 11,000 for the Ezra Bridger figure. The second tier is the Kanan figure, and that's at 14,000. So they are getting close to it. And then the third tier will be the Zeb figure at 17,000. I don't think they're going to hit the 17,000.
Not unless some monkey business goes on with the figures, but I doubt it. You like when they do that thing where they suddenly add all of China on or whatever from some third-party retail, or like when they do them kind of things, it suddenly jumps to like 18,000 overnight. But I don't think it will. I think Kanan may get unlocked. I can see 1,000 people in 3 days doing it.
Yeah, I mean that's a few hundred a day back in it. That's definitely. I think that's definitely reachable. The Zeb, like you say, unless there's something serious to go from 13,500 up until like 17,000.
I can personally see Hasbro hitting 14, and then as the hours count down, the days count down. Because they've had a couple of unsuccessful labs in the past, I've got a feeling that they will just get a Zeb at the last minute.
You reckon?
Yeah, they'll just be a case of, We feel that the crew needs to be together to finish this collection, so we're not going to leave you out in the cold. Here's Zeb Aurelius. And they'll do it in that cheesy way, like they always do, just like that. And it'll be a case of, we didn't want to leave him out, guys. And they'll just throw him in because they've already got the idea of it. They've already made the mold, obviously, at this point.
Or they'll just put it for sale
soon. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'll put it to sale at, like, in a different box.
Yeah.
I must admit, for those who are backing it, it's one of those ones that it would be a shame not to get all the unlocks because of the carded figures and being the Rebels crew and stuff like that. So for those backing it, I do kind of feel a little bit sorry that they're not going to potentially not going to reach the full capacity of it. And it's the first HasLab in my memory that the tiers are very much a part of it, if that makes sense. Whereas the tiers
sorry, God, yeah, the Rebels crew is needed for the Ghost. It's Ghost Park Battle.
But also
it's like getting a Millennium Falcon and no ham.
Yeah. But also the fact that they've put them on the mural kind of card back makes them a real set.
Yeah.
So, you know, even for, now let's be honest, you will get those figures re-released some way, shape or form. So you will be able to complete the crew, but to have those carded figures will be a collector's point in itself, and it'll always be missing Zeb if they don't hit it.
Yeah. They keep saying that these are meant to be Rebels card backs, and these are, but they're using the mural from the ending, right?
Yeah,
I've got a feeling because the Ezra looks more not like his cartoon version; it looks more like the live action one.
That is very true. The Hera as well.
Yeah, so I've got a feeling that this more or less confirms that we're going to see Zeb reappear in his actual Rebels costume in this program.
But then see that, then Kanan as well. Like, he looks.
They've updated them. They've definitely updated the sculpts, and they look nice. And he's in it. Yeah. They've definitely updated them.
Yeah,
they're not like the traditional. They're not the traditional, cartoon ones that they've released previously.
No. Steve's been doing a lot of, like, Steve Evans has been doing a lot of videos and posts and stuff about the Ghost. It's huge. It really is massive. But £500, like, that's how much it is in England. I don't know how much it is in other countries, but £500, like, that is a lot of money for that. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, it is swings and roundabouts. When you look at something like a Hot Toy figure at 300 quid or whatever, but I don't know, just for a ship for relatively cheap figures to sit in, it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
like, it is a lot of money. But I'm glad it's backed. I'm glad it's backed. It kind of breaks their dry spell of kind of non-backed. You know, the Star Wars team haven't had the best ride, have they? They've got, like, considering everyone talks about the sail barge and the Razor Crest so much, and then the old lightsaber and the Rancor just kind of hit rock bottom. Yeah, it does look nice. And if you've got the Razor Crest, if you've got the sail barge, then this is a must-have. I would assume. Speaking of HasLabs, have you seen the Marvel Legends kind of movements?
Yeah, so they're slowly moving towards something, aren't they, with this countdown?
Yeah.
It'll be HasLab. It'll definitely be HasLab.
It's, for anyone that hasn't seen, they've been posting, Hasbro's been posting action figure photography of the Avengers. So the first picture was kind of the original kind of Avengers lineup, minus Ant-Man and the Wasp. And of course, Giant Man. The second one was of, like, villains, but it was just a real mixture of villains, everyone from, like, MODOK to Ultron. The third picture they've released is kind of a big brawl. So it's like the Avengers in a circle surrounded by all the villains that we saw in the previous pictures. And each of the pictures is a set. So it says one of. And yeah, it's Yeah, I don't really know where it's going. Like, I can't work out the story of the pictures, but everyone's saying it's going to be a giant man. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. The other thing as well is that we haven't seen a wasp. We haven't seen a giant man. We haven't seen, the Wasp is a character that we haven't seen, and she's one of the original Avengers. So the fact that she's so heavily tied into Giant Man and Ant-Man and stuff, for us to not see her yet. Like, we even had Ant-Man, but as a Walgreens, I think it was, or a Target exclusive. So yeah, it's got to be. But they're building up to something. They are definitely building up to something.
Oh, 100%. They have to.
But yeah.
Have to. And like we're on, what is it? Because it's part 3 of 7 right now.
Yep.
So we've got a few more days, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, there's going to be, didn't they say the other day there's going to be another live stream soon? September 8th. September 8th, yeah. Does that coincide? No?
Well, it's after because there's no real date release on these pictures. So they could literally release one every day. And then
that's what I mean. So yeah, then it would fit.
Yeah.
So they've done 3, then so it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, it'd be, they could do it all this next week and it would coincide.
Yeah. And I think the only piece of information I picked up from I think it was San Diego was that they said that they didn't make the announcement of they didn't make an announcement of their HasLab because they didn't want to overshadow or interfere with the Star Wars one. And I think that's a mistake they've made in the past, where they've released them almost overlapping.
Yeah, unless they're going to do one a week, it could last them until the New York Comic Con. There's that as well.
But they've released 3 in the space of like a week. So
yes, I'm hoping. I'd be good to see if they announce it on the 8th, because they have got a Marvel Legends pull stream on September 8th at 11 a.m. So
that's got to be it's got to be HasLab. There's nothing else penned to. There's nothing else I don't think that warrants a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no kind of secret wave coming out. There's the Spider-Man wave, obviously the No Way Home wave that we know is coming. But I think that September 8th is where we're going to find out what it is. While we're on toy news as well, and we are talking Marvel, Viz has said, what do you guys think of the Wave 2 of Infinity Saga figures? Rubbish, if I'm honest. But yeah, we'll have a chat. We got pictures of them, or should we just talk about them?
I can get some pictures.
I mean,
first thing first. Sorry, which ones were we talking about?
The MCU ones.
Oh yeah. The Infinity Saga returns.
Yeah. So I collected all the Infinity Saga stuff when it came out like 3 years ago, whatever it was, because that was quite exciting to have this kind of separate wave that was specific for the Infinity Saga films. And then for them to carry it on is just a bit odd. But yeah, so we've essentially got 8 figures coming.
Yeah, I don't think these are even remote like that different. Really,
they're not.
Tony, the Peter Parker face looks identical to the one I got. In fact, it looks slightly worse. I think I prefer the one I got in the unmasked head of thingy. I think I prefer the one I've got. That one's quite weird.
Shall I tell you what? The best 3 in this setup for me is Bruce Banner. Having a Bruce Banner figure is quite cool. Yeah. But it's essentially just a Mark Ruffalo action figure. Let's not paint it up to be anything else. There's no kind of hulking out head like they could have done. When he was in the Hulkbuster and he had that kind of. They could have given us that as a head or something, or just something to make it more than just a Mark Ruffalo action figure. I mean, I like Mark Ruffalo.
They could have given us a hand that's got a slight green coming up over the fingers.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like have an interchangeable headpiece that has the slight green coming up the neck and stuff. That would have been a cool piece to have. So you can do photos of him slowly hulking out.
Or just like where you have the arms that pop out, like with the Reed Richards, and kind of have like slightly bigger green in arms or something. I mean, they could have done something really cool with it. And they've just given us a Mark Ruffalo action figure, which is cool if you're Mark Ruffalo, but for most of us, it's just a bit awkward. That is definitely one I'll pre-order and get sent to me as opposed to going to a shop and buy, because a grown man buying an action figure of a grown man that's got no superhero elements to it at all is a bit weird. War Machine is a good shout for new collectors because it's one that we've had a couple of times before. I've got that one. I think I've got it both releases. But it is one of those ones that so many people have kind of asked for. So to have War Machine is kind of a good shout. So I'm kind of pleased for people. The Mark II, the Iron Man Mark II, I'm really excited about because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's
the red and gold one.
No, the silver one.
Oh, the silver one. I'm about to say.
No, the Mark II. Mark II, because it's done on that newer body mold, so it looks a lot better. And the one that we've got from back in the day is so skinny, like you couldn't even get a healthy thin person in the suit. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't work. Black Widow is a really good update. That's really cool. The stealth suit Captain America, meh. The Iron Man, like, what the fudge? Like, why are we getting another Iron Man figure like that?
The Iron Man looks to be the clunky, horrible one from the Infinity War packs as well. Like the one that it's got the hands that are doing that. Oh, I hate those hands with a passion. They have no hinge on them either.
Is it? I've got it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that thing.
I've already got it unboxed. There you go. Look, exclusive. Got it. No, it's literally just. But there we go. I mean, that is literally. I've taken this one off my shelf because I've replaced it with the 3-0 figure that I got from Zombie. Actually, big shout out to Zombie. And they've just basically given us this again with a Tony Stark head that we've had previously as well. The two that really annoy me is Thor, because why have they given us yet another figure of Thor from his worst film ever? Like, Dark World was not a good film, and nobody, like, it's not even kind of redeemed itself now. People aren't kind of going, oh, you know, Dark World, it got a bit more stick than it should have. Like, it was rubbish. It was the worst MCU film for a long time. And they've given us another figure of him, but yet we still haven't got an updated Thor 1 figure. Like, that original Thor, like, to get an updated version of that. This was the perfect opportunity to have done that, and instead they've given us a lazy repaint, repackage. Okay, they've given us a smirking head, but whatever. And Spider-Man, just why? Like, why? It's not even a good suit. It's a suit based on the concept art. It's just, rubbish. But there are a few in there that I'm really pleased for. But
again, this is why I moved away. There's too much now. Maybe we've been in the game too long. But it just seems to be like any figure that comes out now is going to get a re-release in a year, maybe 2 tops.
You know what? I'm actually in the process of doing a video about this, but I will tell you now what my thoughts on it are. Right? Is that I feel that Marvel Legends are now no longer a collector's item.
Yeah,
that's the kind of the tagline of my video, if you like, is that it used to be that they were a collector's item. So you kind of, you know, it's great that these things are being re-released for new collectors, but you're not making them a collector's item. You're making them an action figure.
Yeah.
Because you're re-releasing stuff that, you know, things like War Machine. If you have a War Machine in your collection, you've either been collecting for a long time or you've paid a premium price to somebody to get that figure because you want to complete your collection. Whereas kind of giving us repackages and giving us repaints and stuff is just taking the collection element out of collecting the figures. Does that make sense?
And it's also tanking the prices of everyone's figures.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is
let's be honest, not that all of us collect for money anyway, but it's not about that. But there is a little bit of you that does think in the back of your mind, actually, these figures are now worth nothing, not even as trade bait at this point.
No, totally. And I'm very much kind of, I'm not a collector for money. I don't collect figures because of the value of them or anything like that. I collect them because I like having them in my collection. I buy most of them at the time that they come out. so it's not kind of like I don't pay much more than retail if I pay for them, but they're just not collector's item. Like seeing that War Machine now, I'm kind of like, you know what, it's great for people that haven't got it. That is fantastic, and I'm not knocking that at all. But as a long-standing collector, I'm kind of like, you know what, I could have sold those off, kept the space in my thing, because I could have bought another one at another time. Do you know what I mean? It's just not, there's no collector element to it. Whereas before it was kind of like, you know what, I'm pleased because I've got this collectible item in my collection. I've got this thing from back in the day, or I've got this thing that I've traded or bought or whatever. And it's just, they're just taking the collection element out of it. Yeah. It's I don't know. That's just my thoughts. It's just even that Stealth Captain America. I remember him being really sought after, like really sought after at the time. Even at the time that he was released, and people were, you know, if they had one or they could get one. And I think it might have even been for Mick, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I remember buying one in a group because I saw it pop up and I knew he was after it, and then sold it on to Mick at the same price. I didn't like scalp it or anything like that. But it was
when the Winter Soldier wave came out, wasn't it? Was that Winter Soldier wave?
Yeah. So, but yeah,
they were hard to get in the UK.
I just don't feel like it's a collector's market for that brand anymore. I don't feel like a collector. I feel like a hoarder now.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was collecting, whereas now it's not. And
like we had that time period, didn't we, where like they suddenly released Winter Soldier and Falcon from the MCU in Asda.
Yeah.
And they were like, cause you got to think, they wouldn't do that now because they won't make any money. But literally, they released them just purely to Asda. They were exclusives for ages. Yeah. They didn't get re-released for years, and they were so sought after for a time.
Yep. Completely. And they weren't even great figures in today's standards. No. They weren't even great figures. But I remember being at a different town for work, and I went into their Asda and they had the Winter Soldier one, and it was like amazing. Mm-hmm. STM Figures in the chat, hello, how you doing? Said that they should update them more if they're going to re-release them. And I completely agree. And I say about this in the video that I'm doing at the moment. But I have nothing against them re-releasing figures, re-releasing characters. Like nothing against that at all. If you want to give us a Mark IV War Machine, or you want to give us a stealth suit Captain America, like happy days, go for it, do that, but update it. Give us something new. Don't just reproduce the same figure, because if you do that, you have the older collectors that have been collecting for a while kind of go, you know what? I'm going to replace the one I had with this new one because it's better. But you also you also appease the new collectors by going, you know what, I've not got a War Machine, so I'm able to buy that. Happy days. And you please everyone.
Yeah, and this is what I was like this week when I saw this. Just give me a sec to get the photo. But just in the same vein, just while we're having a gripe, literally they did this with the MCU stuff, but then they also released these guys.
I know exactly what's coming. Moonlight Spider-Man. Yep.
They're just straight repacks. There's not even a remote difference. No. These are just repacks of the hardback. That's it.
No. I even put on my Instagram, you commented, didn't you? I was like, I'm not calling them new figures because they're not new figures. They are repackaged figures. Like, again, for those that collect retro card, amazing. This is great. Yeah. For those that didn't have the opportunity to get these at the time, again, fantastic, amazing. But if you're putting the same figure in a different box or giving us the same figure at a different period of time, that's not a new figure, and it's not helping the collector's element of it. All it's doing is saturating the market. And just like, even with that Moon Knight, if they had given us the exact same figure but made it pinless, I would have been like, fantastic, brilliant, I'll get it, or whatever, or I won't get it for whatever reasons. But if there was that slight tweak to make it something different, then that's great. But it's not. It is literally just a re-release. But yeah, and like people were saying here, like STM Figures said, like, I missed out on Moon Knight, so I'm happy for the chance to get him, but at least give him pinless arms and legs. And that's my point, is that I'm really pleased. I love that figure. Like, it's a really cool figure. And for anyone that's a fan of Moon Knight, especially as there's more fans of Moon Knight now since the Moon Knight TV show, it's fantastic that you can get this kind of comic accurate Moon Knight, but change it slightly, give us something slightly different to make it a different figure as opposed to just a repack. And that's not just an extra head or something, like do something different with it.
Yeah.
And the Spider-Man is just lazy, let's be honest. That came out literally like months ago.
Yeah.
Right. And again, fair enough. It was in a cardboard box. You couldn't see the figure. And I've got friends that are collectors. They're inbox collectors. So I'm really pleased they can get an Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man in a clear box. That's fantastic. But do something. Just give us something that makes it slightly different. But yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. Them figures kind of came out. They're not even on there. They've not even put the pictures on their own Instagram yet of them.
No.
They kind of released it. I think even the team knew they were going to get some comments from people saying, that's not even that old a figure that you're now re-releasing, because they've kind of brushed it under the carpet a little bit. It's like these are coming out in November and move on.
Yeah. And Andy H, like totally, like proper point. Like it costs the company money to resculpt the figure. I get that. But I think in the long haul, they're going to cost more. It's going to cost them more money because people are going to buy less. Like,
let's put it this way: this new figure is now retailing for more than the old figure.
Yeah.
The new retail price for these card backs are $27.99.
Yeah.
That original Moon Knight would have been $24.99 or $23.99, maybe even $22.99 when that one came out.
Yeah.
It would have not have been 27.
Yeah.
No way made. So I mean, even the Spider-Man would have probably fallen under the earlier pricing. So that figure would probably cheaper in the original box for about $24.99. Why they're giving us a figure that they've already given us, but they're charging us more money for it?
Yeah.
And there's no difference. This is where I get off the ship, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yep.
And I hate being the guy that moans, but yeah, it's just I can't deal with that anymore. It's too often now. Too often.
No. STM, like there we go on the last comment on this thing, but the Renew Your Vows body would have been great for Moon Knight. Yeah, do that. Mix the molds around or something. Give us something on a different body. Happy days. It's like they did with like they did with Daredevil recently. They gave us Daredevil on a different body mold than he was on the last one, like the last figure we had. So if you have that figure, that holds a place in your collection still. Shelley, I don't know if we should take that as an insult. Like you're half asleep. Like, is that what you're just boring? Boring this way? Did I turn down extra head? Yep. Yeah, I did. True story. Fair enough. We got any other toy news? What other toy news? Let's get away from the repaint.
Yeah, let's get away from let's get excited news. So my favorite announcement of the week, I can't lie, this was amazing to see. Are you a fan of Mars Attacks?
Yes.
Well, here we go. Super 7 are going to give us ultimate versions. Never mind 5POA, these are 7 inches. These are big boys. And they are coming with multiple hands and guns and accessories. We're even getting the head blown off version as well. We're even getting the dead version, if you will.
Is it a 2-pack or are these 2 separate
individual figures? This is wave 1. They're calling this wave 1 of the series.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that to me says we're going to get the girl alien, and we're going to get the leader and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
without a doubt. Without a doubt, you can't do Mars Attacks figures and not give us that woman with the hair.
One. Yeah.
Such an awesome film as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they never got a sequel.
Oh, I can see Tim Burton revamping this in a few years and doing it again. Now, especially with all the renewed UFO stuff going on, he could remake that and make it even more fun. The
government saying that it's all real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I think this is a cool line. I really do. I think this is there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot of possibility because it's quite limited in characters and stuff like that. But you could give us a whole bunch of different aliens.
Mars Attacks, obviously, there's no way they're going to give us, because if you look at the cast now, it's obviously Jack Nicholson, Annette Bening, Danny DeVito, Jack Black, Glenn Close. They're never going to get the likeness to make their figures, let's be honest. It's going to be the aliens. So we are talking the red cape leader, the regular green, and then the big blonde-haired girl one. I think those are the three that you're more than likely going to get. And then obviously now we've got the head blown off version.
Yeah.
Unless this isn't, this could be based on the artwork of Mars Attacks rather than the actual movie. They could be going down that route. The retro artwork that got made for it and stuff like that. The comic books.
That'd be cool.
There's been comics by IDW. So it depends what route they're going down. Depends what royalties they're paying, I suppose.
Yeah, they're not limited. They are not limited to just the movie. That's the cool thing with this line, I suppose.
Yep.
It'd be a little bit more niche to go down those routes, but
those green aliens, though, they just resemble Mars Attacks, and everyone will buy them ones definitely. But I definitely see the red cape leader and the woman, the blonde.
The blonde woman's got to be done. Like they've got to do her. Shelley just said she's going to wait for B&M to get them for 20 quid. It's a gamble. It's a gamble with those shops.
And to be fair, Mars Attacks, I see that. So even I don't pre-order, and even I've pre-ordered one, at least one, because I want at least 3, but I've got 1 because I know they're going to sell out.
Yeah,
it's such a niche franchise, but it has a massive following. Sci-fi collectors, horror collectors, and people that just collect nostalgia products. There's 3 markets there that instantly opened up to this, and never mind just generic action figure collectors. So that they're going to sell. That is part of everyone's childhood.
Andy H got a question.
Oh.
What does a Mars Attack do? Oh, I haven't watched it in years. I'm actually gonna have to go and watch that now.
It's so dated and bad, but
but
it's amazing at the same time.
It's like that. Did you ever watch Evolution with David Duchovny?
Oh God, yeah, I love that movie.
David Duchovny and Sean William Scott, whatever his name is.
Scott, and Sarah Silverman's in there. And
it's such a bad film, but
it's bad, but I love it.
Yeah.
All those girls in the photos are over 18.
Andrew Orr, the big running robot would be insane to get. The one with the donut, that would be very cool.
Yeah.
But if they are, if they're 7-inch figures, that would be huge.
Yeah, these are 7-inch scale.
But then Diamond Select could do something like that because they do like the Iron Giant and all that kind of stuff. Don't like Pacific Rim where they scale them down. Carl just quickly saying, anybody get the Spider-Man 2 PS5? It's beautiful. I have seen pictures, didn't get it myself, but I still haven't played Miles Morales. I've had it since I got it on release and I still haven't played it. That's so bad of me.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know.
That was kind of it for what we talk about. There were a few other things, but it's mainly all like professional wrestling, which is not really like our thing. But that was kind of the major bit. For our sort of neck of the woods. There was a couple of like Spock is getting a new figure from Higher Toys as a part of their exquisite miniseries, and Storm Collectables are good doing Balrog from Street Fighter, but not the stuff we usually talk about.
I am on a big side note. The Turtles figures in Smith. The new Mutant Mayhem stuff, they are really cool. Mm-hmm. They are really cool. So they retail at like $10.99, but they're doing 2-packs. Have you seen the 2-packs?
Yeah,
they are awesome. So each of the 4 turtles against 4 of the bad guys. Mm-hmm. Like Superfly, who is it? Superfly, Rocksteady, Bebop,
and
Leatherhead. Yeah, but they each come with like a little diorama piece as well. And you can get all 4 of them, and the diorama pieces all go together. And I was thinking, you know what? That's like 80 quid for 8 figures, 4 kind of diorama pieces. Like that's a setup. That's like a custom built display. So yeah, I might be tempted with that one.
Andy H.
For all the wrestling fans, CM Punk has been fired from AEW. Has he really?
Yeah, good. Getting gone. Stupid.
What did he do?
He just argumentative with every bugger, isn't he? He rubs everyone up the wrong way.
I thought that was his whole angle, though. Like that was his That was his character. Is he now just?
He's rubbed up the wrong people.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't seen CM Punk since like his WWE days. Like, I really liked him back in the day, but
CM Punk got into that thing where he blurs the line between. He does play with kayfabe, as they call it. You know, the whole is it fake, is it real? So he likes to do the whole blur in the storylines. Is it real? Is it not? But he's officially been fired now.
Wow, fair enough.
He's now an alumni of AEW.
Wow, fair enough. Fair enough. Where were you this weekend?
I was at York Unleashed, a very fun Comic-Con in York racecourse. I enjoyed myself. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
I always enjoy it, but I've got some videos for us to have a look at because I had to share with you guys, and the fact that nobody watched my video today, so I'll share with you guys.
I put this online and nobody watched it, so as an exclusive.
So I'm going to force you to watch it with me live.
Come on in, talk us through it. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Actually, let me just share the.
We actually haven't got any Comic-Cons local to me for quite some time.
Really? They're like every weekend in my neck of woods.
No, I'm gutted. The closest ones, I mean, they do have them, but they're not very well advertised. So I usually find out at the last minute. But the next big one for us is MCM, obviously in London. And that's at the end of October. So I'm definitely going, 100% going. So I'll do a little bit there. But we don't know whether brands like Hasbro and that are going to be there this year. So that will be interesting. But anyway, let's have a look at your.
So this is Rex's. It's called Rex's Reviews. I've mentioned him before on the channel. He's a dinosaur specialist, but he started to splash out into doing like displays and stuff. And now you'll know that I got a little bit excited while doing this because I started humming the Jurassic theme song for the entire duration of this clip. So
let's.
So if people are ever wondering what I'm doing when I'm filming videos like these toy hunts, I'm usually humming something, and all the way through that I'm going dim 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 dim. You left your mic on mute.
Sorry, mate. There you go. Stug said the Sorrell humming makes the video.
Yeah, because normally I put music over the top, and I forgot to edit that clip before we went live tonight. So all you can hear is me, and then randomly going coughing in the middle.
Stug said, I watched Sorrell, love Transformers. Shelly said, I watched it too, looks awesome. See, people were watching. That was mad though. Like what? And that was those two stalls had all of that.
Yeah, so that's one stall. That's just Rex's Reviews. He goes to the Comic Cons with his massive setup. He's got a dinosaur shop up in South Shields, I think it is. And basically, he just specializes in dinosaurs, and all these things are in his shop. And then he's got so much stuff he can't put in his shop, so he goes to Comic Cons and takes them with him. And he has these massive photo ops and displays. Like today, his favorite thing was he had the big pile of poo, and he had the gloves. You could put the gloves on that have all the smeared poo on it and stuff.
What?
So that everyone were taking photos and literally saying you're hashtag York Unleashed big pile of shit. That was hashtagging all day.
That's mad though. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm gonna buy a life-size pile of crap.
He makes most of them. He makes a lot of it.
Really?
A lot of that will have been self-made. Yeah. Like the goat bit, like all them sets he's made. He's a very talented guy, and he's at every con with like a different piece. I'm like, you just made that this week. He's like, yep.
Yeah, it's like just a goat in a cage and a toilet with a T-Rex head. Like, why not?
But like there was one a couple of weeks ago. Like he's got like in Jurassic World when the kids can ride on the back of Bumpy and things like that, little dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
He had like some ride-on ones for kids like that had been custom made. So kids were like scooting around this little section of Comic-Con and these little dinosaurs, just like from the film kind of thing.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking
of Jurassic Park, actually, in Smith's today, I saw you can get like the T-Rex live. Have you seen that one where it's like a glove and you operate that? That's really cool because at the dinosaur shows, there's always someone with a baby dinosaur, and obviously it's a puppet. And I was like, that's really cool. But now they've actually kind of marketed that and turned that into a thing that you can buy, official Jurassic Park thing.
I always remember going to Universal Studios as a kid, and they had the one in the egg, and the guy's doing the whole thing from the film, going, "Come on, push!" Little dinosaurs popping his head out.
Yeah,
it was so awesome as a kid. That again should be like a puppet that can re-release. That'd be cool.
I can't wait to go back to Florida. I know you're going soon, but we're.
I'm a year away. I'm excited. I'm a year away.
We're balancing it out at the moment as to when our youngest is big enough to enjoy it. Like that's kind of what we're aiming at. So I reckon a year or so, and we'll be back over there.
We took Paige when she was 3, and that was too young. The last time we went back, at least recently, she was 7, and that was better. She was able to go on all the big rides.
My youngest son Miles, he was 6 months old when we went last.
Wow.
I was like, you had the baby, let's get to Florida. Let's go. I mean, our older 2 was obviously a little bit older, but yeah, he was 6 months. But he was all right. We put a fan on the pram and just, left him in a restaurant for the day. It was fine. But yeah, no, we're waiting now. Like our youngest, we're waiting until she's a little bit older, just so that they can really enjoy it. But I just miss it. I really do miss it. Like, and I haven't done Galaxy's Edge properly yet. Like, it was there, I could see it, but it wasn't open when I was out there last. So
you've not done Guardians of the Galaxy. They've got all that now.
No, that's the cool thing is there's enough time that's passed that I can go and it will be like a whole new experience. Like Harry Potter Universal hasn't changed all that much, so it's kind of like we've done that, so we can go around see that. But yeah,
see, this is why I'm going back to Universal, because I've not done Harry Potter since it first launched. I did it when it first literally launched. I was there 2 days after it opened, when I was 17, 18. And then we've not been back since the Universal. I've not been since I was about 18. So every time I go to Florida, I go to Disney. I don't touch Universal. So this is why we're going to stay at Universal this time and do that side of things. We've done Disney to death now. There's nothing new there. Like you say, I've not seen any change there for some years now. So Universal is where I'm going.
No, see, and last time we went, it was more. We did more Universal than we did Disney. We touched on the Disney stuff, but where we had done it to death, we were like, let's focus more on Universal. But yeah, even Shelley said I miss being there, and I only went 3 months ago.
Sorrell humming the theme tune like he's about to wipe out everyone in there, mate. On my little scooter, if you get in my way, beep beep.
Do you not customize it for cons? You should turn it into a.
Well, I'm a stall holder, so I need to be able to get in and out of it quite easily. And because basically I started going to Comic Cons and queuing up outside and spending about 20 quid to get in, and then I realized that to get a table's only about 80 quid, and I can make money while I'm there. So my wife she wanted people that she'd tag along with me to Comic Con, but she'd spend about an hour and a half, 2 hours, then she'd be done and wanting to go home. Yeah. So I thought, well, if she's happy making money on the stall, she does that bit. Well, I just bomb around playing at Comic Con. That's worked for us ever since. So when you're all outside shivering in the cold because it's cold and wet and raining, I'm inside just having a whale of a time before you even get
in. Stug said it sucks that the Star Wars hotel failed.
It didn't fail. It was good for what it was. It did what it wanted, what they needed it to do. It was never a permanent structure. People forget that it was made to be removable. Yeah. I think they basically did something and they took learnings from it. You know, like when they do secret cinema.
Yep.
I imagine this in the same way. I don't think it's gone forever. I think they'll take it away, take the learnings, and then come back with something new. Or they might not even do Star Wars. It might come back as Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ravagers. It might come back as, you know, a princess friggin' hotel. They could do anything. It's Disney.
I think having been to the secret cinema Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it would work really well.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really well. But they could now incorporate it into the Nowhere kind of thing that they did in the holiday special and Guardians 3 and really make it into something like there's potential there for, like they've got Galaxy's Edge, like they could make a Guardians kind of section of the park, like with the hotel in it and everything. Like there's real potential there, but it's what the longevity of it is. Obviously Star Wars is
exactly. This again is why I think these hotels that are removable, editable, are better in the short term for Disney, rather than so they can do this premium experience that they want to do and make it look like you're in space. But that only appeals to a very small market, and sadly, when you do that, the price tag gets bigger.
Yeah,
the big hotels like your Pop Centuries and your Animal Kingdom lodges, and they appeal to a wide audience. That's why it's cheaper to go there.
Yeah.
When you're talking Star Wars, you're talking to a very niche audience that want to be incorporated into that experience for 72 hours.
Yeah. When I say in the other hotels, it's very much a case of, like, if you're an average family looking to book a Disney break, you'd basically kind of pick the hotel that was within your budget. You wouldn't pick the hotel necessarily based on the niche that it caters for, because Animal, like, you know, the what's it called? Not Animal Planet.
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal Kingdom. Like the Animal Kingdom one, it's not just for people that like animals. That's where that hotel is. Whereas obviously the Star Wars one, you wouldn't get your average Joe just paying to go in the Star Wars one. It would have to be someone niche for Star Wars.
If you were booking a trip to Disney, you wouldn't book the Star Wars hotel because it's only available in 3 days at a time, because it's an experience. It's not a hotel. No. People got this assumption that it was a hotel. It's a show for 3 days.
Yeah.
It's a whole experience. It's not a hotel. It's you go there for 3 days and you become immersed in a storyline and live action role play, basically, if you want to.
It must have been so cool to have worked on that. Let's be honest. Yeah. Like, if you were one of the, like, I always quite envied people that were like in the parks. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had your Jurassic Park kind of dinosaur handlers and stuff, and I just thought that must be a really fun job to have. But being an immersive actor for 3 days at a time, that's intense.
You need to go watch Dano's channel. He did so many vlogs on this thing, but the one that is my favorite is when he did the Jedi Path experience. Yeah. And he basically was taking a break from dinner from everyone. He didn't realize this was going to happen. They must watch you 24/7 and know where you are. It's very creepy. But basically, he went out to the out deck where you can get fresh air, and it's like your simulated Earth kind of thing. It's just outdoors. And he was sat basically in this little like open air thing. And this guy came out who was like a Jedi, and he was playing with the rocks on this like rock feature in front of him. And he started talking to him and saying like, we as humans, we can only take so much before we break. And as he said break, all the rocks fell. And he's like, it was such a well-rehearsed little thing. But like Dano had no idea that was going to happen to him. Like that was like an experience that was catered just for him on his own. No one else was around. He was him and his camera. And he got this one-on-one experience with this cast member who was totally into the character and was giving him like life coaching kind of advice kind of thing in the form of like a Jedi would. Like, don't worry about the the workloads of life. Things will get better with balance in the Force. And like, if you're a big Star Wars fan, like he said, he was practically in tears. He said, as a Star Wars fan, that's like something you wanted to have happen to you since you were a kid. Someone telling you that you've got the Force and everything's going to be okay.
exactly.
Yeah, some of the videos that people have are amazing.
I promised both my boys as well do the Star Wars building lightsaber thing.
Oh, mate, that was so good.
Yeah.
The whole storyline that they give you and the speech, and it's so moving. It's amazing.
That's what I said. I was like, you know what? We'll do that. Hands down, we'll do that without any question. When I go to Galaxy's Edge, I'm going to blow money.
There was this bit where we were in, and they told you to close your eyes. What color do you see deep inside? Now reach out. And as you reached out with your hand, you opened your eyes, and they had the thing open in front of you with all the kyber crystals. And whatever your hand was in front of was meant to be the one that your heart chose, kind of thing. And there was this lass at the side of me. She was in absolute bits. She was like crying. And the woman came up to her and went, "Tears, the force must be strong with you. Such strong emotions." It's like the cast members are like so into it. It's amazing. But it's like one of the things where if they weren't into it, sorry, go on.
They got black kyber crystals.
No, you can get them, but they're hard to come by. They're in the red ones, and you're only 1 in like 20 are black.
Oh, right, okay.
But there's a thing. The annoying thing is, again, my friend, not Andy H, but another Andy, worked it out that basically the kyber crystals are all the same. They're just painted different colors. And the codes are inside all of them to give you all the colors.
Oh, well,
it's literally an, what do you call it? That beep touch thing.
Yeah.
Codes. I forgot the name of it. The things that are in Disney Infinity tokens, basically. Disney Infinity figures. It's that, basically. And depending what code is programmed into this piece of plastic, depends on the color of lightsabers. So if you get this certain reader off Amazon for like 20 quid, you can basically reprogram the crystal to be whatever you want it to be. So you can hack your lightsaber, basically.
That's it. That sounds like a bit of a Sith move, but I'm down for it. I'm up for that. Yeah, no, I just really want to do it myself, but my boys are old enough. Whereas if I did it and didn't include them, I'd be in trouble.
Sorry, I just read Andy H's comment. It wasn't a character; it was a hobo who was just stopping there.
It's just somebody that was just like, yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, filmed it and thought that there was a whole thing, and that guy does not work there at all.
It gets me like, we've got no idea who this man is.
No idea who that was. But yeah.
The bit as well that everyone always like oohs at on the videos for Galaxy's Edge is when you see Rey and she's got the proper lightsaber that actually comes out of the hilt. That's awesome. It looks like a real lightsaber. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, they showcased that, didn't they, on like one of the panels?
Mm-hmm.
But are they putting that to production? Because the way they made it sound was as if that was going to production, but
that's a park exclusive for the cast members, I believe. At the minute, they may put it to production, but it'll cost a lot, I would imagine.
I would have thought so as well. I don't know. I need a new lightsaber. Mine's looking a little bit old.
And next week I'll pimp my saber. Sorry, I love Andy Hage's comments. I love him.
He is pretty good. So what are we looking at? What's next week going to be?
Next week, so looking ahead, obviously we've got another episode of Ahsoka, which I'm hoping is going to have a little bit more something about it.
Well, it's going to be episode 4, so there's going to have to be some kind of twist, reveal, cliffhanger. Like, there's got to be something. You reckon?
I'd love to see. I just would love to see the crossover. But yeah, no, I don't think he'll be in this one. But episode 4, yes, we've got episode 4 of Ahsoka coming out. What else is that? Is there actually anything else going on right now? Or are we just waiting for New York Comic Con?
No, I don't think there is. There's not a huge amount going on.
The writer strikes has ruined the industry a little bit at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, September 8th is Friday. That's when the Marvel Legends live stream is. So we'll be able to talk about whether that's, whether it's a HasLab, whether it's something different. So we'll have that. So we'll have a little bit of toy news, a little bit about what we're watching. Maybe we'll do a giveaway next week.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Spice it up a little bit. Maybe we'll give away that throne room. So tell your friends, get people in, and we'll give it away live on the show.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, cool. All right, I think that's about it for this week then, Sorrell. Unless you've got anything else you want to talk.
Yeah, it's kind of rounded that up nicely, I think, there a little bit. It's a slow week, sadly, so there's not a lot to talk about. Let's hope we get some new stuff real soon.
It's that time though, isn't it? Where we have them. There's the dips and the troughs, and it's we've got a lot coming, so it's all going to be kind of drip fed in until the big stuff's out. But yeah, we'll do a giveaway next week. We'll give away that throne next week. Who knows? Might even be able to pull in a guest or something. And talk Ahsoka, talk Marvel Legends, and talk about anything else that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to add before you round up?
Thank you for watching. See you soon.
Thanks very much. Yeah, so if you're new to the show, like I said, give us a follow, like, share, subscribe, all of those things. You're watching this on replay, we appreciate you. But yeah, until next week, keep it geek.